This episode is about explaining how we're months or a couple years away from financial collapse. Let me explain what I mean. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching this video. Now, I know that you might say, oh, doom porn. Okay, listen. No matter what happens in the financial collapse, guess what happens? Nothing gets destroyed. Nothing. No buildings, no cars, no, this is not a war, right? It's just that the money stops working for a while, right? And then it will work again. That's it. No big deal. Yes, there's a lot of people that lose money and a lot of people that gain money, right? That's it, right? Or gain wealth, really. Those are that's the outcome of the financial collapse, right? So, with that said, right, you're all going to be alive. You're all going to be okay. So if you have zero money, you have nothing to worry about. It's like, whatever, keep going. It's like another day for you, right? If you got no money, right? If you got stocks and bonds, you're in a world of trouble. Or even real estate, world of trouble. Those are the people who have to worry. Everybody else who's got real assets, things that they actually hold, they'll be fine. Bottom line. So, with that said, right, the collapse is nothing for most people that have real assets, a real big something for those who have traditional assets, right, like stocks, ETFs, and all that kind of nonsense. Hey, well, the history is clear on that, right? What happens? That's it. There's no ambiguity, right? The government's run out of money. They need to take it from somebody. Who could they take it from? People who are trapped. Right? Simple as that, right? Trapped in a system where their laws make it reality, make it their money now. That's it. There's no, you know that every government's out of money, right? You understand that concept, right? So don't be so shocked if it does happen to you and you say, well, how could I have known, man? How could I have known? Come on, man. Like, you don't have to listen to a guy on the internet. You can ask ChatGPT all the questions you need in order to get the answer you want, right? To see if I'm talking crap or not. Right? Simple as that. You now have it in your power to find out the truth and take action. Because honestly, if you decide, no, this guy's crazy, right? Move along, nothing to see here. It's your own damn fault at this point, right? It effectively, right? It's like saying that it's a Jew's fault that the Nazis, you could say that the Nazis put them in a concentration camp and killed them. But if somebody's telling you that this is going to happen, and you have the means, a system that can give you the information to say that's going to happen, whose fault is it at this point? That can be up for debate, and I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, with that said, right, this is what today's episode's about. Watching gold and silver make new highs day after day, and you're wondering, well, whenever there's a pullback, I'm going to buy it. And you know what? People say this time's different. They always say this time's different. And yeah, you might be right. It might be this time's not different. I don't know, right? But I decided to ask ChatGPT based on historical events and everything that we've talked about, because I've discussed this a lot with ChatGPT. And let's take a look at what it said, okay? And we're going to go over all these things. And there's also links in the description for evidence of all of this. So check that out, okay? And make sure you hit the like if you're going to go to the description. Hit the subscribe if you're interested in subscribing and learning more, right? Because there's going to be more information. This is not going to happen tomorrow. Relax. You got time. Don't go running out and panicking. You need to study and learn, right? You got time, right? To actually get it through your head. In school, right? This is school.com, right? If you take a look at here, you can see that we have this is our platform that we actually, I talk about what's going on, what we're doing and so forth, and help the students through the school. If there's any questions, I'll answer it directly. I'm going to be answering these questions shortly after this video. There's a bunch of questions here. And I will be responding directly. No AI system, no third party, just me. So if you're interested in joining the school, we have an offer for you. It's offer.dj15.com. And you can be a part of it and actually have me directly. Not only that, coach you directly. So it makes sense. It's very valuable. Already, everyone in the school has purchased. And you know what? No one outside of the school has. That's okay. Because they've seen the value and you have not, and I understand, and that's okay. Moving on, right? ChatGPT said, when asked, is the collapse of the financial system, right, near? I guess I forgot to add is near. I forgot to add that edit. Let me just quickly edit that. Oh, I can't edit this because it's on a different one. Well, I asked, so I'm seeing now with silver, Japan bonds yields, gold going up and everything going up. This looks devastating. And our time before an outright financial collapse is near, right? Based on all of this. Of course, ChatGPT cannot respond with, yeah, run for the hills. It can only respond with, it's okay. Don't worry. It's all good. Follow the standard approach. That's it. Right? So when it does that, right, you have to call it out, right? You say, okay, you state that the collapse is not occurring because the system has not stopped. Right? That's what it actually said. It's not occurring, right? Meaning that we're not seeing it coming close to the actual collapse. And we'll define what a collapse is in a minute because I define the collapse later on. Okay, we'll get into a definition of the collapse in a second. This is being dangerous. This is being disingenuous. Sorry, I said to it because it's like saying, well, your car is still running. Your car is running out of oil. And the engine hasn't seized up yet, right? So don't worry about it. And I'm like, huh? Right? You got an engine light going, it's flashing in front of you. You got the oil light flashing in front of you. And the ChatGPT is saying, don't worry about it. Your car hasn't stopped yet. Oh, damn. So yeah. So basically, with that said, let's go on to the definition of a collapse. It's when your monetary system ceases to work and we have to use a new one. Right? If you wait for that point to do anything, it's too late. That's just the way it is, right? Period. End of story. So you have to, within your own best guesstimate, figure out when we're closer to that point and prepare. Or you should have started preparing sooner, rather 5 years early than, 1 day late because it's useless, right? That's it. Right? So keep that in mind. Then ChatGPT goes on to say, you're right to call it out. If near means the probability just jumped and the system is moving into danger zone, then yes, it's near. Right? Where I won't go with you is pretending I can name the exact week it blows up. Never asked that question. And I can give you my original question. Never asked that. I even said, we don't know when it's going to happen, right? I even said that. Don't even try to guess. Because I don't know, you don't know, no one knows, right? Because it's all up to policymakers. And then could be a cascading event that occurs that could cause it to collapse. So you can't predict exactly when. Okay? Markets don't give you that. Yes, that's 100% true. What they do give you is a dashboard of stress signals. Boom. You just listed several. I just listed several of them lighting up at once. Yes. So for those who missed that, that is the bond yield, Japanese bond yield, right? Gold and silver pumping like crazy, with no end in sight, and just absolutely exploding like there's no tomorrow. We're gonna show you the charts at the end of this show, at the end of this part of the show. So you just wait. If you're interested in trading or charting this, we do trade this, and I will give you some trades for this. But really, should not be get it. It's like picking up quarters in front of a freight train. It is not a good idea, right? To trade this, right? Unless you're trying to make a small buck here and there, and take the cash out right away and then spend it. But other than that, trading it should be reserved for, hey, that's my job, so that's what I'm doing, right? Okay, moving on. So as I listed, right, I listed that the collapse of societal collapse, right? We see, people acting stupid, don't even know what a woman is, right? They're acting like with funny hair, and you see when you watch the new Star Trek, what's it called? Starfleet Academy, you're like, what? What are you smoking? You're spending $25 million an episode on this garbage? Yeah, that's the tip of the iceberg, right? You see, looting and pillaging and so forth in many countries and so forth. A lot of things, a lot of crime going on, a lot of corruption, right? All these things are signals for the end of a financial system, of a fiat financial system. All of them. I listed them. We talked to them with ChatGPT, so it knows. Went and referred to some of the items that I've mentioned, right? Which are historical evidences that this could be the very end. Most likely is, and most likely is. Hey, the lights are flashing, right? The engine lights flashing, the oil lights flashing. Now, can the car go on for longer than expected? Yes. But can it go on forever? No. Keep that in mind, right? At some point, it will end. Okay. Here's a clean answer without hedging. It is near. Yes, collapse is near, right? Yes. In a sense, the system is now in a phase where cascading events can happen with little warning. Yes, that's once the cascading events occur. If you wait for that, you won't have time to maneuver, period. Because then they have to backstop those cascading events. And that means a lot of things, which we'll get into. Near is no longer years, right? Because originally, when we were discussing it, we were looking at 5 years, right, as a maximum out time before the default of the currency, right? But now it's plausibly months to a couple of years, meaning 2 years, depending on policy, response, and what breaks first. That's it, right? Yeah, these are a lot of unknowns, right? The end is clear, right? In sight, right? there's no turning back. There's no fixing the engine whilst it's running, right? It just can't happen, right? Your oil analogy is good, yes. Here's the key difference. A car with low oil has one path, seize up, yes. A financial system has a dirty trick. It can refill the oil by changing the rules mid-drive, printing liquidity, backstopping bonds, forcing domestic buyers, capital controls, regulatory jawboning, yield curve control. I did respond to this, of course. And I wrote that, listen, that's like pouring oil. Yes, it will keep the car running. But effectively, it is draining out on the other side. And the light will come back on a lot faster than anyone expects if they do any of these. Right? Because it's draining out. And even if they patch the holes, I said, it will still find another way out. What do I mean by that? Patching the holes. Okay, no longer can you buy gold and silver. That's patching a hole. You can only sell. Sorry. They can make that rule, right? And that's a whole patch. But then all that happens is the leakage will go somewhere else, right? The leakage will go to Bitcoin, right? Crypto. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go and say you can't buy gold and silver, only sell it. Not saying that. I'm saying that's an example, right, of patching it, right, to keep the system running. But that patch is only temporary. That doesn't mean it's safe, right? It means the timeline is elastic. Yes, we all agree with that, right? I think I agree with that. And the collapse often comes as a sequence: stress, intervention, temporary calm, bigger distortions, right? Then either the inflationary break or deflationary break. Sometimes both in different places. 100%. 100%. In fact, I remember in 2008, I was telling people that because I believed the system was going to break permanently in 2008. And I said that, listen, there's going to be some craziness. Prices are going to go, it's going to look weird. Prices are going to go down in one place and go skyrocketing in another, and it's not going to make any sense. Yes, that's what's going to happen. Yeah. It's not going to make any sense whatsoever in that event. A lot of the your economic knowledge will be like, well, why is this going up and that's going down? It doesn't make any sense why that's happening. And maybe it's had that nonsensical behavior is occurring right now when we see Bitcoin going down with gold going up. Right? Maybe that's it, right? Part of the system, but I don't think so. I think it's Bitcoin's going down because it is an asset that's now institutionalized, and institutions go on statistics based on on the assumption that the system will continue on. And that's how they're going to act. So yes, okay, yeah, it says it's near, but may not look like one clean cinematic crash. That's true. That is 100% true. We're going to see different things happen. Like, it often looks like controlled demolition. Mm-hmm. Yes. If you've ever watched, what was that TV series on Netflix, Jesus, where they had the upside down flag. Oh man, I can't remember the name. But anyways, the president destroyed his own presidential election. Like, for example, he was the person leaking all the information about all the bad stuff he did because he wanted to destroy his own career the way he wanted it. Control, because he knew it was coming down. Right? And I can't remember the name of the TV show. It's such a long time I watched it. But anyways, if we're close, you'll typically see the progression. Yes, that's true. But take a look at this. What it listed off as progression. Bond yields rise and volatility rise. You're seeing this. Okay. Alrighty. Something levered snapped. A fund, a bank, major borrower, an FX carrier trade, a sovereign auction. I could have swore TD blew up their silver shorts, and quite a few other banks are like having some problems. A lot of problems. Let's go on to number 3. Authorities step in hard. Emergency facilities surprise intervention. I wonder, did I just not mention in a few episodes back that the Fed being indicted was like, here, look over here, everything's fine, whilst they're bailing out the banks at the back? Did you notice that? With the emergency facilities? Yeah, the Fed, they've spent money wrong. They're building the building and they didn't properly acquire that money to build this building, to do the upgrades. We must prosecute them for that. Here's 100 million. Here's 100 million. 100 billion. Here's 100 billion. Here's 100 billion. No. We need to see what's going on with that 2 billion. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Another 100 billion for my friends over here. Oh, damn, man. The public experience shows up later. Yes, you don't notice the end, what's happening, until it's too late. You don't realize, oh my God, Da Vinci was right. I better do something. And once you realize that, it's too late. Such as restrictions, bail-ins, limits, stealth taxes, currency controls, or inflation shock. Any of these things could occur very fast. I think they're already occurring. In fact, I talked to Chris about this, and I felt that I'm going to keep this short because I know I'm going to drag on for a while. But I talked to him about the RAM shortage, which has bled into every other aspect of computer equipment. And one of the things I told him was the reason why RAM is going up is not because per se, AI. Yes, that is the first level cause of it, right? They're paying 5 times the amount, or even 10 times the amount of the true cost of RAM. Why? Because they're printing a bunch of money, and saying this is what we're willing to pay. They're not. Chris was like, yeah, they're just distorting the market with all that printed money. That's why RAM prices are higher and why your SSD prices are higher. He got it right away. And he was like, Daddy, I studied economics, man. I know what's happening. Oh, damn. Right? So this is what's happening, right? With the inflation shock. It's starting to happen in different areas right now because of all the printing going all into AI to boost productivity, to get them out of they're trying to hope and pray to get them out. Productivity gets them out of this mess that they're in, which you can't, because it only buys us a little bit more time, maybe 3-4 years at the most, if they got instant productivity. All right. The real near moment is step 2, right? Yeah, we're already there. And because step 3 is guaranteed. Yes, we already went through step 2 and 3, right? We're already there, right? The effects of step 2 and 3 are not going to be felt for a little while yet. Just wait. That's step 4. Okay? The big single test. Ask one brutal question. Can they stabilize without making the currency less trustworthy? The answer is yes. You're like, what? 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 But you see, of course, they can use some sort of like pandemic, some sort of event, whatever, to like I've said, the collapsing of California into the ocean or whatever. Something it helps if it's worldwide, of course, and stuff like that. That would cause everybody to run into U.S. dollars. The movement of money will bail them out. Right? That's what happened in the pandemic. Right? And so whilst you say, well, didn't we go through deflation? All was down. Yes, because remember in the collapse, right? Certain assets go inflated, certain assets deflate. Well, if they want to keep the system going, they have to have deflation. And some assets that are bad for them, like commodities, and inflation in assets that are good for them, which is stocks. Right? And bonds, the value of the bonds, not the interest rates. And if the interest rates collapse, the value of the bond goes up, which is actually a good thing for the system. And this is what they want, right? And this is what a crazy, hey, I need to buy the dollar event will occur. People will run to bonds, right? Because they don't want to hold cash. Since those bonds are now paying a high yield, this will drop the yield as everybody's running to them. Right? There it is. There it is. Alrighty. So if the only way out is a massive intervention, then collapse is near in the sense that you're approaching the fork. Default or debase. They both always choose debase. What should you do with this information? Well, guys, I have all of that in the school. If you want to be a part of it, you can. Just head over and you can just join with the offer.davincid15.com. That's offer.dj15.com. Link should be in the description below. Hopefully, either I put it in there or my staff has put it in there. Thanks. Okay, with that said, I'm going to go into the charts. We are clearly headed to a massive financial disruption. Make sure you are protected. You have all the tools you need to find out whether or not this is nonsense or not. Right? Whether you use them is totally up to you. And yeah, I hope you do. I hope you do. Okay, so let's get on to some TA and see how this is going to play out. Before I do, make sure you hit the like again. And if you haven't already, I mean, you've already, not again, because then I don't think you can hit it more than once, because then that would actually undo your like. So hit it once. And then if you want to get some more information about today's episode, you can just hit the description, right? And then, you can see, I didn't put the offer here, but I will put it offer.dj15.com. You can actually join, you can actually learn how to trade at try, sign up for huge bonuses at x.dj15.com. And then you can see all the links for this information right here. Okay. Looking at Bitcoin looks like it's found a local bottom, right? We can see that we've broken down and then was trying to break above this resistance, and it just couldn't, and it broke down heavy. And now it's retesting the bottom here, which is a key resistance area, and it looks like this resistance area is holding tight. There's a nice W here so there's lots of buyers. but that might break down anytime soon. So let me just zoom in here. Yeah. If it looks like we're going to probably consolidate here. And then if we consolidate too long, we'll break down. If we break out and break above the 91,200, right? That is the amount we need to break above to see that, yeah, we can start moving all the way to 100K, which is still on the table here. We could go all the way to 100K, 103, 104, maybe as high as 107, but I don't think anything beyond 107. And I think if we close above 107, that will be a turning point for Bitcoin, actually. So a positive turning point for Bitcoin. Right? And you can trade this once again at x.dj15.com. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Also broke its downward this downward trend, and now it's trying to consolidate as well. Looks like we are at a support level, previous support level, that looks like it hasn't broken before. Yeah, well, I mean, in a while. Since, it's broken a few times. Okay, well, this looks like a clean support level. Let's mark this. And see, yeah, this is a clean support level that we're back in. So let's see how well Ethereum plays out. I'm not going to trade this one. Looking at Solana, ooh, see, this is the line in the sand. Solana has touched the 125. I can't believe it. It came breaking down. You can see these are the parking garages that I've told you about many, many times. I'll talk about it in another episode, but yes, you can see that it's maintained the parking garages like beautifully. The top part of the parking garage, I remember when we were trying to break out into the next level of the parking garage, and yeah, beautiful execution all the way up to the top parking garage, right? And failed at the first one, and then second, and then now we're at the third parking garage here, and we have to bounce here, or else it lights out for Solana. Okay, let's close off with gold and silver. Let's start with Jesus. We're at almost $4,900 for gold. Right? Remember when I told you that the RSI was like, yeah, it looks very bad, and then it's just like, yeah, you think I'm going to be dead? No, go. That's a clear sign that something's breaking in the system, because when the momentum was slowing, and then as the momentum's slowing, someone just came in and said, yeah, okay, I'll just buy that, since I'm not gonna wait. That's it. I'm just gonna buy. That's crazy. With big money though, right? I'm not talking when they said someone. We're talking in the $100 billion range. $100 billion to move this, right? And a collective 100 billions. Jesus. It's unbelievable, unprecedented amount of firepower of dollars going into this. And the funny thing is, right? Someone on the other side, right, has these is taking these dollars. And if they're paying debt off, that's reducing the dollars. Interesting. It is an interesting situation. Look at silver, parked at the parking garage, exactly where I was saying that it would do, and it's closing in on its EMA regimen on the 4 hour for the first time in a while, right? So since January 9th. So let's see. I think we're going to break down. We should break down to the first parking garage, 88. We've already done that. If it holds that, then we're going to blast off above 100. If it does not, then the 82 is the next, and sorry, $82 is the next level. Don't see it going below $82. As you can see, there's too much support there. And since we're blasting off, right, because of the dollar collapse, I don't see silver breaking below the $82 mark. Okay. That's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I know it was a little bit long one, but I had to go over a lot of things with you guys, and I really enjoyed this. So peace.